So I'm just going to demonstrate how I make Elastofix, which is a combination of the North Coast 50/50 elastomer and a hypafix that we use for scar management. So lots of people have been asking about how to do this. So first of all, you want to make up a template of your scar. So I'm going to borrow my lovely assistant's arm here where I've drawn a little scar. So I usually get a bit of paper towel and draw an outline on the paper towel and then cut that out. What I do is then use, I then use that paper towel template of where I want the contact media to go, the Elastofix, and just trace around the your little template onto your hypafix. Now, if this was a keloid scar, we'd want to be taking the tension off of the skin and having the direction of stretch of the hypafix along the lines of tension. So on a forearm like that or along a chest, you would want the direction of stretch to be along that line there. So the hypafix stretches in that direction, but not up and down the length of the hypafix. So this has been orientated so that it's going to stretch in that direction. So that's our little template of how much elastomer putty we're going to need for the location. So you don't want to keep these open for too long. So as soon as you've got your little bit of putty organised, you want to put your lids on pretty quickly. So I'm using a tongue depressor. So they're pretty cheap and easy to come by, and they're nice and wide for spreading. Somebody recently suggested using a plastic spatula as well, a small spatula. Being 50/50 putty, you want to get the same size of little bits of elastomer together, and because it will go off and harden pretty quickly with, especially in a warmer environment, I usually just very carefully smush it together so that I'm not getting it too warm and it won't go off too quickly, because I want to be able to spread it as best as I can. So I'll get a bit of it and then I just spread it generally where it's going to go and get it mostly in place. And then, so it's using the flat of the tongue depressor to really get a really nice smooth thin layer, not to go too much outside the lines. So where the elastomer is, the hypafix will become less sticky and it won't stick as well onto the skin. So there we have a nice thin layer of the elastomer. So you could put it on just like that, but that looks a little bit untidy. So what I do is get a second piece of hypafix, and without letting it stretch out, let's hope this all goes nicely to planned, we're just going to lay that on top. So you don't want to stretch that hypafix out, so make sure it's nice and loose and it just falls down, and then smooth it on. What you want to do then is, where you want to cut is you want to leave about 1 centimetre border between the elastomer and the edge, because that will be your sticky area. This won't be quite as sticky. So here's here's one I prepared earlier, and what we do then is we have our Elastofix patch ready to go. So I need to then go to my scar person. Thank you. And you don't want to touch it as much as possible to maintain the stickiness. Now, for somebody, if this was a keloid scar, the tension of the movement of the wrist and the elbow will pull the skin, and that makes the keloid lengthen. So we want to take that tension off the keloid. So I put it on a little bit of stretch and then lay it down and just smooth down the edges. And that will be then pulling the edges of that skin together, and we've got that contact media there. And that can be left on for anywhere between 3 to 7 days, and they can shower with it on. And then replace it. And it's a one use only. Okay.